Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 in a best of 3 series between Naniwa versus Nestea here on Shattered Temple. I believe this is a best of 3 series, hopefully I'm not wrong. Anyways, Naniwa spawning here as the green Protoss player at the 6 or 7 o'clock position of Shattered Temple. On the other side of the map, all the way over here, we have Nestea spawning as the teal Zerg. And interestingly enough, we see Nestea scouting out in a different direction than what is considered normal. Now, you got to remember this is part of Season 3's BattleNet Invitational BlizzCon 2011. So it is actually possible to have close spawns on Shattered Temple this time around. And Nestea really changing things up with the way he's currently scouting. And by scouting in this particular direction, he's going to be able to find his opponent actually a little bit more quickly, or perhaps at the same time, but his opponent's not going to be able to scout him out nearly as quickly either. So we'll see whether or not this Overlord off in this position will try to kind of trick what Naniwa is doing. Naniwa looks like he is going to be trying to go for a Forge Fast Expand on Shattered Temple, and yes, it is going to be a Forge Fast Expand. He should be able to put a Nexus down here, and then chain a couple of buildings together here. And then it will be very difficult for units to get into the base unless they run all the way around. One of the benefits of Protoss is that they can warp in units anywhere on the map. You can now see an Overlord from Nestea making its way into this position. No creep was spotted, so Naniwa will quickly find his opponent in just a moment, as we now see Nestea establishing a 15 hatchery. Nestea's 15 hatchery will pretty much go unanswered, as we can now see a photon cannon being added by Naniwa. So Naniwa opting to go for an earlier photon cannon. He could have gotten an earlier Nexus instead, so he is going to be a little bit behind unless he tries to do some interesting or cheese play with a Forge Cannon Rush. He does have one probe already. He can easily get some photon cannons down here on the low ground, and then make it very, very difficult for roaches or any other units to try to come in. And yes, it is going to be a triple pylon block. So this one, a drone now making its way over. Is it going to be enough? And no, Naniwa deciding to cancel that. But he did also cancel his own photon cannon back at home. So what is going to be happening here? That is the key question. The one probe able to prevent 2-3 drones from mining at this time. Nestea was almost able, and we'll see what's going to happen here, as it looked like Naniwa was trying to do a double cannon or double pylon block, and then with a double pylon block, he would have been able to start warping in photon cannons right off in this position, and it looks like he will be able to do so successfully. But we are already going into spine crawlers. Spine crawlers only take 50 seconds to build. Meanwhile, photon cannons take 45 seconds. This is going to be very, very interesting, as double photon cannons need to come in. Now canceling them and canceling across the board. So very interesting play. I'm not quite sure who lost out more resources. Naniwa, obviously, as he did cancel a lot more buildings. But still very, very interesting to see how all of that unfolded. A lot of early action that really didn't amount to much. Just a lot of mind games. As now this one probe tries to run all the way back. There is going to be a photon cannon in position already. And now, the Zergling takes another photon ball to the face and decides to run away. Nestea, currently sitting with this Overlord in this position, will quickly be able to scout around, take a look, and see that Naniwa is going into double gas already. His Nexus nowhere near being completed, and Naniwa is very far behind in tech. Currently running off of one gateway only, and with only one gateway, and now finally getting up his Cybernetics core, it's going to be quite some time before he gets that Warp Gate tech, as Warp Gate tech does take a decent amount of time to finish. And now we're going to see the Queen and Zerglings attempting to take down this set of destructible rocks. Nestea already spawning larva, trying to make sure that he has his third expansion ready and available to him. One of the benefits of cross spawn is that you are able to clear out these rocks. The Queen just sits there able to deal a fair amount of damage. Normally, I would say that it's very inefficient, only dealing 2 damage or 1 damage per attack, as the armor of the rocks is at 3. Forge, Cybernetics core, Zealots now starting to be trained up and moved out into straight midfield in order to put a little bit of pressure. Nestea already getting up this one spine crawler there. Zergling's not going to be able to catch up to that probe just quite yet, as we do not have the metabolic speedling boost and now a Zealot starting to run across the map. But we are going into double Stargate play by Naniwa. So Naniwa deciding to open up with a little bit of a different strategy this time around. He is getting a lot more gas, as you can see, running off of 4 assimilators. And well before the 8-minute mark, he's going to be perhaps getting 3 probes per gas. And then with double Stargates, he should be able to put down a lot of pressure. Nestea, if he's not very careful, if he doesn't get enough queens or an evolution chamber for those spore colonies, he's going to have a very, very bad day as a Zealot just running laps inside the base. A Roach Warren about to be completed. That Zealot going to get surrounded. Nestea trying to run around. Poor Zealot, not going to even get off 1 kill, but he was able to see what's going on inside the base there. 2 Void Rays now being added. Did Nestea spot the Stargate? Yes, it looks like he did spot the Stargate. He does have the evolution chamber, but he is not currently getting any spore crawlers, and I speak too soon. So 1 spore crawler being built over here. It looks like another spore crawler being built over here. Spore crawlers have a high rate of attack and decent armor against the very fast attack rate of a Void Ray. A Void Ray I believe has an attack rate of 0.6, so it attacks very, very quickly. High armor does make a fair amount of difference in reducing the total amount of damage that it deals. Now, pylons now being warped in as well, so we'll see what these Void Rays try to do. We're going to go into 4 Void Rays and then into Phoenixes, so those Phoenixes are going to be able to start graviton beaming all of those queens, and by taking the queen out of the equation, you're able to really deal a lot of damage to these buildings. Now, a second queen is being added. You can see the Void Rays are being added as well. There's a Zergling that does spot the 3 Void Rays in the center of the map, and this is going to be huge. Is Nestea going to be able to fend this off? I believe so. But there is also the Spore Crawler here, so this is going to become very, very difficult as we can see what's going to be happening. A little bit of damage being dealt. The Void Rays backing off, perhaps going to get some damage onto the Roach Warren. No, trying to figure out where exactly it can attack with the help of that queen as well. Going to go after the Evolution Chamber to prevent any additional, but that's a lot of queens. 6 queens on the map. And now trying to Graviton Beam 1. And is it going to be enough mass transfusions and mass queen play here, as all of those Phoenixes and Void Rays are not going to be successful at all. So 7 queens coming in from Nestea, and Nestea was more than ready, as you can now see Nestea running off of 3 bases and Nestea in a very dominant position. And we'll see how all of that works. Check total unit count. I don't think I've seen 8 queens off of 3 bases ever, but Nestea did exactly what he needed to do. And now he is still training up even more queens at this stage, so he will have 9 queens as the Void Rays once again try to push back in. But Nestea with so much energy on those queens, he can easily have a mass healing party, as now we're going to have Zealots warping in on the far side. Zerglings and Roaches getting caught. We'll see how this is all going to work out as the Zerglings are trying to run away. Perhaps Graviton beaming some of those Roaches would be a very, very smart call. Yes, 1 Roach down. Another Roach going to get taken down, and Roach is getting caught in midfield. A lot of damage has been dealt, and now these rocks most likely will get taken down as well, as Sentries and Zealots are now going to make their way to move and take down these rocks. So it's going to be double pressure, as Nestea is spread rather thin. Graviton Beam onto a queen. That queen is not going to be able to survive, and now even more Spore Crawlers coming in. So it's going to be 5 Spore Crawlers. Is it going to be enough? 1 Spore Crawler does get destroyed, and now needs to back off. More queens coming back in once more, but the Zealots are putting in a lot of pressure over here. In comes another mass Graviton Beam party, and queens are getting transfused. Is it going to be enough? More Graviton Beam. 8 Phoenixes, and then Void Rays just coming in, putting in so much pressure once again. Now trying to snipe down the Spore Crawler. The Spore Crawler may get taken down as well, but mass transfusions once again coming in as well. Queens trying to survive. This one low hit point Void Ray backing off. Another queen getting taken down. And even with so much anti-air, this is not looking good, as Nestea may end up losing his evolution chamber. And if he does, he's not going to be able to do very much of anything else. You can see that there's even more damage coming in. And now Nestea focusing over here as the Zealots and Sentries are able to run in and now snipe down another hatchery as well. Void Rays going after the main hatchery here. The hatchery looks like it will get taken down. Corruptors are now finally being added. And is it going to be enough? Another hatchery. So all of a sudden, Nestea's 3 bases now turning into 1. Corruptors are in the air, but that's not going to matter very much in just a moment, as the Phoenixes are able to destroy so many of those queens. Void Rays need to get the heck out of there, but it looks like the Void Rays will get taken down by those Corruptors. But now there are a large number of Zealots to deal with on the ground. Zealots and Sentries, as we now see Nestea running off of one base. So one base, Nestea, more Phoenixes still being added into this army, trying to shoot down some of those Overlords as well. There are Stalkers in this group. The Phoenixes need to back off. Not quite sure why they're even trying to engage, as those Corruptors have significant armor and significant numbers as well. We are now running off of 6 gates. We are now also going into Blink. So those Stalkers and Zealots are going to be able to get a lot of damage. And now in come the Corruptors. Corruptors going after those Phoenixes. The Zealots are going to be able to get in a lot of damage on drones. And massive number of force fields yet again. If he focuses down the layer, that would actually be very, very detrimental, as Nestea is only mining off of one base right now. Zealots could re-engage, but a new round of Stalkers coming back in. And as soon as Blink does complete, those Corruptors are not going to be able to stick around for very, very long. Roaches are going to try to push in once more. Phoenix is going to try to engage. What's going to be happening as the Corruptors are going after those Phoenixes? Both sides are engaging back and forth. Stalkers are able to continue to fire. Roaches getting in a lot of damage, but that proxy pylon on the high ground with so many 1-0 Stalkers just finishing up Nestea. And I believe Nestea has to say GG. What a great game by Naniwa. Naniwa committing to that anti-air attack, or that air attack, and even though he saw 10 queens and a whole bunch of spore crawlers, was able to attack where his opponent was the weakest, and then using Zealots and Sentries over by the destructible rocks, able to snipe down one of the main hatcheries, and then snipe down another hatchery over here before Nestea really could do anything about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2 in this Best of 3 series. Stay tuned for Game 3.